Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. The first episode of the year is here, and we are here to talk about testing. Max Verstappen was 1.1 seconds ahead of the next guy in day one of testing. Carlos Sainz was the fastest with a 129 at Bahrain. Day two of testing. What does that mean for these new cars? Who are we watching out for as the year goes on? Who is sandbagging on that team? Who is sandbagging on the grid? Mercedes, the front wing. We also have to discuss that. We need to know if the W15 front wing is legal or not. Ferrari, these guys, are they going to challenge Red Bull this year, or is their car going to have issues like last year? Alpha Tauri also looking fast. Stay tuned to see how that pans out. We also have a special on the WRC going on, and we also talk about that. We also have Moto GP. We discuss that. We see what's going on there. And yeah.
We are live.
In your face, all over the place. We're online.
Every race week.
You're listening to
The Pitboard discussions.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Pitboard Discussions proudly presents to you Formula One discussions reimagined. Mr. No Cap, the startman himself, Mushiri. Woo! Cutthroat, less troublesome Dan. And me, is the trouble man himself. Yeah. And we are here for the first episode of the year. And tunajua mmetumiss. We know. Hey, give us our applause. Wait. On the decks, give us our applause, man.
Applause ilikuwa gani?
Unaona, it's been long. It's been long. It's been long. Hadi unaangalia tena zimelibuliwa aje. Ni applause ama crickets? Ni applause.
Hizi msana za edit.
Yeah, we can program them.
Okay.
Anyway, how have you guys been?
Salama.
Winter imewapelekaje? Najua Nairobi hakuna winter, lakini wacha tuseme winter. Because apparently it's been how long since our last episode? 3 months? 2 months? Give or take?
Race ilisha lini ya mwisho?
November last year.
It's your time.
3 months, yeah. It's been long. We've been meaning, by the way, for the listeners and the viewers, we've been meaning to give you a filler episode, but tukienda kushoot, like we shot one last week, 2 weeks ago, ama sikumbuki ilikuwa lini?
2 weeks ago.
We shot one 2 weeks ago. Tunamaliza kushoot leo. Kesho Hamilton anaenda Ferrari. You know, it's kind of crazy because vitu hizo zikihappen unakwanga like so anyway, now we found the perfect opportunity to talk about something that's actually going on. T-5 days to official race day. Ama T-7 days, give or take. Testing. Livery zilitoka, makala zikatokea, tukaona colors zote.
Carbon fiber pia tukaona.
Tukaona carbon fiber venye Mercedes last year walidanganya watu. You know, fun fact, Mercedes last year waliulizwa why is the car like this? Wakasema we are saving weight. Tukajua hiyo W14 inakuja kutesa kwa track. Apparently ilikuwa inatesa Hamilton na George Russell. Hao ndio walikuwa wanateseka na hiyo W14.
Did you notice that after Hamilton announced Silver is coming back slowly?
Yeah, imeanza kurudi pole pole.
Yeah.
So what are you trying to say?
So next year it will be fully silver. Yeah.
Whether ilikuwa hybrid ya like W13 and W14 because hapo mbele like W13 then inaenda ikirudi W14 huko nyuma. Anyway, away from liveries, testing. That's what we are here for. Testing.
Day 2.
Umekuja na full lata, inaonekana you're here to make a statement.
Nah, I never have a day off, man.
Yeah, uko na statement. You're here to take some numbers and take some shots.
You can't catch me sleeping, man.
Unasema upatikani wewe hiyo upatikani. We can't catch you George Russell. Because last year George Russell ndio alikuanga The Art of Sleeping. Anafaa andika kitabu. You know how Sangzu ameandika The Art of War? George Russell sana anafaa andika yake The Art of Sleeping. Anyway, tusianze na chaos. We are shooting on a Thursday. So leo kutakuwa na space. Itabidi tumeifanya kesho after testing. But 2 days in, a lot has happened. Na I know there are things you guys want to get off your chests. Unataka kutufungulia na gani? Testing, who has been most impressive so far?
I think all the teams, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Previously, testing has been plagued with red flags, sessions not being resumed, as in reliability issues in short. But seeing these cars as in doing hundreds of laps. As in
especially Haas.
Yeah, as in Bahrain's usually how many laps, Paris? Is it 57?
Around 50. I don't think it's past 60.
Yeah, I think it's 57 laps.
Yeah.
But like day one, you had guys doing over 140 laps.
Yeah.
So that's like two races.
Yeah.
Yeah. and the cars are not breaking down. It's testing, yes. The main purpose of testing is to see if everything is working correctly, first of all. As in, that's if you have new components. Because this is, apparently, it is the first time when the car is put together and it's being run at this pace. So, yeah, it's interesting seeing people doing the hundreds of laps and not seeing cars breaking down.
Add-on to what you're currently saying. I'm sorry to cut you short. But I think a lot of people don't really know this, but the FIA, the Formula One organization, these teams are banned from actually hizi magari kutumika before the official go ahead, before they're told, hey, listen, now whatever you mlitengeneza kwa simulator, you can now kind of try and see if it actually works. So wanakuanga like 2 months wako kwa wind tunnel wakijaribu. Na hata hiyo nasikianga ni illegal, unaambiwa endeni nyumbani.
Hey bro, after the season it's usually the holiday break. Hapo unaambiwa azima
endeni nyumbani
na kila kitu.
Najua Kenyans are dreaming for jobs like that, but hivyo ndio kuko.
Yeah.
And they can't use a full scale model.
Yeah. That's the whole point basically. Like hiyo gari umetengeneza unaitumia kwa computer, play video games with it.
When they are doing the testing, the wind tunnel testing, they don't use the full scale. They don't create a full scale model of the car. It's like a third.
Ngoja. Hold up. Unasema in testing, in the wind tunnels.
Yes, they make models of how the car will look. Okay? They don't use a full size model of the car.
Is it because of
costs?
Okay, didn't want to use the word.
They run it at 180 kilometers an hour, not more than that.
Is it because saa zingine pia, you know, the data you need, you don't need to make the full car. You can just give something.
The best thing is to make the full car.
Yeah. There's something that Mushiria said costs. There's a guy on YouTube channel yake. But he recently he was given he had the privilege of touring the Dallara Italian company. These guys, I think they make the Formula 2 cars. Also Indy cars and forgotten the other series. But he was also asking the same questions, as in why not build the entire thing, as in build a model of the entire cars in
one of one.
And it was basically cost, because he was shown the Indy car last year, 2022, and that guy was quoting a price of millions of dollars.
Okay,
and it's something that, as in on a car length table, this is around 1.5 meters or something.
Yeah,
kind of one and something. Yeah,
it was costing millions of dollars, man.
I have a question though. So, for wind tunnel testing, when they're doing their tests, we know they don't need an engine for that. Do they?
No,
they don't.
No.
Now, the most expensive part of a Formula 1 car is the engine, and especially in the modern era, the whole electronic components in the car. That's what's expensive. The ERS is the car systems. That's what's expensive. But the bodywork, I think the bodywork is kind of...
It's not the cost of building the model. It's the cost of doing the tests in the wind tunnel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Even building the model has a cost.
Yeah, it has a cost, but not compared to nini.
Sitaki kubrag ama kusema kitu, but uko sure hizo hatuwezi tengenezea hapa kwetu?
Nini?
Hizo models.
Not models.
Wewe tuko na carbon fiber. Tuko nayo.
The models is not the issue.
Carbon fiber.
Nakurap mabati.
Tunarap mabati, tunaiweka the great tint and the whatever carbon fiber. Yeah?
So when they are coming to do day one of testing, they are checking whether the data they got from SIM is the same. If it is not the same, it means something is terribly wrong somewhere.
Correlation.
Yeah, there's no correlation. So they try to look for those correlation, and that's why they have those rigs.
Yeah, aero rigs
and the Vs.
Every time you're saying
flow Vs
going terribly wrong, I'm remembering nakumbuka ile story ya asa walikuwa naitwaje, the 29 champions
Honda
Bron GP. So every time nasema something going terribly wrong, I just have this flashback of the Bron GP story. Apparently time you're testing, when guys were kind of sharing simulation test data, because these engineers talk na hiyo time vitu hazikuwa as strict as sai, so walikuwa naambia wase what times are you guys getting? These guys are mentioning their times, and these guys wakisema yao wanasema we are 2 seconds quicker. Then guys are like hii model yenu iko na shida, update it. Next time ni Windows 7, update Windows 7. Windows 7 Pro imetoka. Mnatumia Windows 7 Home, Pro imetoka. Update models, but apparently they were right.
Activate Windows.
Gonna black background.
Black background. So apparently every time una mention vitu kai hizo I'm taking aback to that. But anyway, day 1 of testing, a lot of things went down. Now, the talking point of the story yesterday was the fact that Max Verstappen was 1.1 seconds ahead of the next challenger, who was Lando, if I'm not wrong.
But
Lando?
it's just testing.
Hey, ni testing.
Who's counting?
Now, this guy likes to use a certain word when it comes to testing. That word, the S word.
Which one?
You know the one.
Which S
It involves a lot of bugging.
Sandbagging.
Exactly.
Oh, I thought it was S-duct. There are a lot of S-ducts.
No. This guy loves. I think you actually coined it. Me neza kupea hizo claims. Wewe ndio ulikuwa wa kwanza kusemanga sandbagging. You love that term a lot. Especially
referring to Mercedes
and their wars. Last year.
Hey, Mercedes, it's true. As in the previous era. Those guys were the kings of sandbagging.
Yeah.
No, sahi was sandbag. Sahi
kubaya.
Problems are real. So for the guys who are unaware, so apparently sandbagging ni ile yenye, hey listen, mimi ni chopi, naweza pata 100% lakini nikienda exam najipea 96. Ndio msijue mimi ni mkali. So hivyo na Mercedes walikuwa wanafanya, lakini apparently sahi akipata hiyo 80% ni hiyo 80%. Ndio iko. Ni kunoma. Hey, it's still an A, man.
No, but come on. You have to give the Mercedes guys credit, man. They've turned up this season with a new car.
Ati tuwape nini?
Credit, man.
Budo umesikia Kenya wamesema leo?
Hey.
Have you heard what they've said? The engineers?
What have they said?
We are approximately 1 second behind the Red Bull car.
Bro, ujeke kenye Mushiri amesema. It's too early to tell us. It's
just yeah, we don't even know the fuel
loads. Yeah, you don't even know what engine modes. Maybe
listen.
Tulia, maybe
if they are spooked, they have a reason to be spooked. These guys, if they're spooked, they have a reason to be spooked. They're not sounding as confident as they were last year.
You're gonna have a long year as a Ferrari.
Who?
You.
Hebu kwanza tujafika story ya Ferrari, but
it's mind game.
Usiseme hivyo because we know Mercedes.
Helmut Marko said they are like 3 tenths ahead. No, it's not 1 second.
Listen, talk is cheap at the end of the day. Kuongea ni bure. Watu wataongea venye wanataka kuongea, but I'm talking from body language na the energy na whatever they give out. We've seen Mercedes for like, hey listen, we've been watching Formula 1 for a while now. Umeona testing attitudes out to testing for like 4-5 times. Unaweza kumbuka 4-5 times of the 4-5 of them, si ndio? Mercedes are the team wanakujenga wakiwa confident, they are doing their own thing. They don't talk about anybody else. The moment you see Mercedes talking about somebody else, they are spooked. And this is not the first thing. These aren't the only people who are talking about other people. There's a certain CEO pale kunaitwa aje?
McLaren.
Brackley ni kwa Mercedes. Kwao kunaitango aje? Kwa McLaren. I'm trying to remember. Na nimetuma applications mingi huko. Sijui, nimesahau. But that CEO pia amekuwa pointing fingers a lot. Amekuwa watch these people.
Our racing bull.
Watch these people.
By the way, what are we going to be calling that team? Alpha Tauri?
It's VCAP. Visa Cash App.
Vitamins and carbohydrates. Even the Daniel Ricciardo laughs, man. Come on. Ukisema Daniel Ricciardo, you're supposed to cue. Daniel Ricciardo, we cue you.
Fuck record, we put it here.
At vitamins and carbohydrates.
Vitamins and carbohydrates. He's very confident in that car, but hey, he has a reason to be, because watching day 2 of testing, they looked really
even day 1.
Even yesterday,
yeah. Actually, day 1.
Really
they said if he wasn't hindered by Gasly, he could have been second yesterday. But I don't know. It's still testing. We don't know. But what they are saying is that car is in the fight with it's now Red Bull. We have Ferrari, Mercedes, and McLaren there.
Mbona zika so far apart unasema ati there's Red Bull, then there's Ferrari.
Let me finish. Now you see among the Mercedes and Ferrari, Alpha Tauri is among them.
Let's not forget Alpha Tauri had a really strong finish to the year last year. they had a really strong finish to the year last year for some unknown reason.
What do you mean for some unknown reason?
Hey, listen.
They introduced some updates after quarter.
Mi najua hizo updates zilikuwa nini.
Mexico they also brought something different.
Tunajua hizo updates zilikuwa nini.
Loves
Unajua by the time umefika huko race week 18 huko, watu wakwangi very keen on what you're bringing into the field because the season is practically over. Watu walikuwa wanaenda garage ya Red Bull to pay your front.
I wouldn't pay your wing.
Ipake paka blue kwanza.
Hiyo rear suspension mumemalizia.
we know what has been going. And the one Zach Brown is really like, hey, because apparently najua Zach Brown thinks hii season na watu wa kutengeneza gari.
But you see
wakachukua gari ya Red Bull last
but
year.
you see Zach Brown's query is not on the VCAB
God damn, it's getting hot in here.
being the RB19 sister. Zach Brown's issue is on the politics side of things, because he's been saying when it comes to voting or wherever, Alpha Tauri / they just do what Oracle Red Bull Racing is doing. And again,
Alpha Tauri ama VCAB. Tuanze kujitrain.
No, Alpha Tauri, because we are looking at the past.
Let's train.
Me, I'm gonna call them Alpha Tauri.
No, as in this is Zach
Toro-Rosso.
Brown and whatever has happened, whatever Zach Brown is pointing out.
But see,
He's pointing out a pattern
that
existed when they were still called Alpha Tauri.
when Jean Todt, alikuwa anaitwa Jean?
Franz Tost.
Franz Todt. I was
Come on, put some respect on it.
Franz Todt, man, come on man. Wewe ndio unajiongeza hizo majina. Mimi sijui hizo majina.
Yeah, but again, I think Zach Brown is just backing at a wall, because I think if you look at can I call them OEMs? Akina Mercedes, Ferrari, people who actually make their own power units and they have customers. I think they have some power over their customers, if I can put it that way.
Yeah. And McLaren is receiving
from Mercedes.
Yeah.
So Toto anaweza sema we mnapata engineer last year. As much as for regulations nasema they have to run on the same spec. He's pointing a finger at Alpha Tauri or VCAB, but 4 more pointing back at him.
Yeah. And I don't really think it's something tunaweza kaa hivi tuseme ni kitu mbaya, but me personally I'll choose to trust what Zach Brown says.
What do you mean?
He seems to be like a no bullshit person. What I'm saying is, if he says something shady is happening there,
wait, is it
9 out of 10 times?
I thought McLaren declined the application.
Is it because
look,
it's pointed?
I have to look.
Wait, I want to know. Are you saying that? Are you saying that
purposes.
because he's pointing fingers at Red Bull, or because he's from McLaren?
Bro, you're forgetting last year nilikuwa nimesema I am a Red Bull fan. Si nilikuwa nyuma yenu nusu.
Nisikumbuke ukisema.
Si wewe ndio ulikata application yangu?
Umenikumbusha yetu ulikata.
And there's a good reason.
Why?
Si tabia yako.
Sasa unatetea Zach Brown.
Tabia yangu gani? Mimi sinasema ukweli. Unajua niliwaambianga I will voice for the voiceless.
Wanyonge.
Nitatetea wanyonge.
McLaren ni wanyonge. Na this year they're going to beat you guys.
Bro, I couldn't care less about sorry, I withdraw that statement. McLaren are a very competitive team. Very competitive. And I want to see them back in the top.
Wait, see, I thought you're the same guy who said the OG enemies of Ferrari in McLaren.
You keep that.
That's why I'm asking. Are you saying it because it was directed at Red Bull, or it's because it's coming from McLaren?
I'm saying it because I want to see equality and fairness in the sport.
Stop that.
Hii mambo ya kuomba suspension ya Red Bull season ikienda kuisha ati ndio mpate the extra 5 million. Hatutaki hiyo mchezo. It makes sense.
Nisi ndo mlikuwa mnapea kina Bottas power units zenye mshatumia.
Okay. Ni sawa. Si hata nyinyi mlikula hizo power units
fanyeni tu oil change. Changeni tu oil na oil filter na air filter na msao.
Aya, on that note, kuna also a lot going on with Mercedes. Unajua conversation ilienda.
Oh, there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on with Mercedes. Na one of the talking points lazima tuongelele, we have to talk about this, yeah? The Mercedes front wing. So apparently wamekuja na ujanja yao tena. The last time we saw this didn't work out well for them. 2022 walikuja na ujanja, walikuja, you know what? We don't need side pods.
Inaongeza weight.
We don't need side pods. So what we'll do ni we'll bring this kaka. And because hey, listen, they were the reigning champions at the time. Hey, unajua champion akikuja number 1 akikuja aseme hii math method ni mbaya, it's faulty. Inabidi mlanza. We are serious. We are listening to you seriously. Sahi
champion akikuja amefold trouser on one leg. Mnamfuata tu.
No questions asked. So this year wameamua, you know what, we were wrong, but we know where we can maximize front wing. Front wing yetu itakuwa na contours. Front wing yao si normal. Now go take a moment and look at the Mercedes front wing for the W15. Ni W15? Okay. The
it's no longer the L15. That car looks it looks drivable.
It's yet tujui. It's yet to need tujue. But now for now it's
umesema hiyo jina lakini imeweka kwa drafts. Uko na folder yako kali kwa laptop umeweka folder
waiting
L15
not sent.
Ushatengeneza memes iko ready memes hapo drafts. So apparently hiyo wing yao it's not your conventional front wing. Na it's caused a lot of talking points, especially this year. People have gotten to their blogs, wameanza kuongea, wamekuwa like, hey, you know what, is this legal, is this illegal? Because we know everything Mercedes does in an innovation space kuna kuona borderline legality. Cue me back to the DAS. Was it called DAS? Cue me back to the no side pods. Lakini ilikuwa legal, but the zero side pods ilikuwa something not seen. It wasn't anything conventional. Na this year, okay, ni vetins hawachukuli serious because of the past 2 years venye wamekuwa kiteseka. but nini?
Continue.
Kwa kiteseka, life has been hard out here. Walirudi soko wakaona venye kunoma.
Hata mmoja amehepa, endelea.
Why are you bringing that up? Unajua Hamilton aliingia kwa factory akaambia, you see this wing? Hii wing hii.
Akasema hapana.
Hii wing.
Akasema hapana.
Niko sure tu Hamilton aliona tu.
But
PTSD.
You know, that front
That
wing
dog, that
okay.
Regularly.
Regularity, they say that the wing inafaa iende iguze the center part. So they have ended just before that center nose.
Are you sure?
Yes.
From the photos,
there's now one connecting. Ideally, if you have 3 of them, they should go and touch the nose. Now they have ended just before the nose, and then kuna kaplate wameka hapo to attach. If you remember the wings of the previous regulation, they were not touching the nose. They were ending just before.
Y250.
Yeah. And they changed the regulation for easy following because the way they are creating a lot of turbulence for the following cars.
Yeah.
Mercedes have sort of gone back to that model, but they have a plate connecting now then. So according to FIA, it's legal, but it is against the spirit of the regulation that was introduced.
Well, every innovation, I'll put it in quotes, that gives
Mesema Mercedes is innovation. Zao ni cheating. Endelea.
No, as in, okay, any innovation without quotes that gives a team an advantage.
Yeah.
Sometimes it usually introduces a disadvantage to the other person. And because it's a competition, you really can't say it goes against the spirit of.
Okay, there's something amesema yenye we were talking about.
They'll do whatever they need to do to gain another.
There's something
I always commend.
Listen, there's something umesema yenye we were talking about and I have to query it. Umesema the previous one that they had brought in ilikuwa inafanya nini? It was a disadvantage to the others, the other cars.
Before the new regulation, which allows easy cars to follow. If you remember the wings, the flaps, let's go side. They were not continuing all the way to the nose.
Yeah.
They were ending just before the nose.
Yeah.
But for now, it's like the nose, they have extended it.
Yeah.
So that those flaps meet.
Which is all okay. I'm just saying the query is hiyo generation ongelea wings ilikuwa na create vortices zenye hizi kazi ziko nyuma zikifuata kulikuwa na some disturbance
issue following
in terms of airflow. Now you know how aero is a big part of Formula 1.
Yeah.
Now with this there's also a hint of something similar probably could happen. Do you think Mercedes engineers in general do these things intentionally? ama ni ile tu
it's-
ignorance is bliss.
Do you think they designed the cars thinking about the car that's following?
Exactly. That's what no. That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm
you see,
asking. Do you think they designed these cars? This is what I'm asking. Just hear me out. Do you think they designed these cars? Because when these rules, when this new era of innovation is introduced, what was F1's ama FIA's excuse to introducing this new era? Part of the pros ilikuwa nini?
Reduce the dirty air, introduce close racing.
Close racing. That was the big one. Like hiyo ndio ilikuwa like the headliner, the main event. Introduce close racing. Do you think Mercedes engineers sometimes wanakanga tu hivi chini? Hey, listen. Sports, competition go hand in hand. Now sometimes listen, if I run like this, wewe utakuwa na disadvantage, I will continue running like that. Unless the guy in charge tells me, hey, stop doing that. Do you think these guys wakitengeneza hii gari tena notice, oh shit, this is actually making the guy following us slower? Do you think they're like, proceed, continue to phase 2 of testing when they're innovating whatever they're innovating? Do you think that happens?
Again, as long as there's an advantage to be gained, they will proceed with whatever they are building.
You are there to win. Your only job is winning.
Yes. And at the end of the day, because remember, before they even introduced this car front wing, when they were showing the car, even during the shakedown, Nuko Silverstone, of course they had to pass through FIA and ask, is this car thing that we want to introduce, is it legal? And if FIA gives it as in like it's legal, it's within the rules, proceed.
I want to see how this W15 front wing pans out. Now speaking of the Mercedes, there's a lot to talk about. The Red Bull, people say, took some inspiration from the W13, which is kind of hard to argue. Because Mercedes were the first team to introduce the zero sidepod concept.
Wait.
Hear me out. Just hear me
I'll
out.
stop you there. The RB20 has side pods.
Yes, it is not. You cannot call it
I'll
zero
stop
side
you.
stop.
Stop calling shoulders side pods.
No, bro.
It's only shoulders.
No, we're not talking about those things at the
Mabega.
top. We're not talking about the things at the top.
Wait, have you seen the cars
I've seen the cars
from the front?
everywhere.
There are side pods.
You're not seeing side pods.
Nilikutumia a whole freaking model ya RB20.
Bro, that car has side pods. I don't know what it is.
Aya, sikiliza basi. The thing is, wanasema walikopi inspiration. Okay, if you want to call them side pods, call them side
They are
pods.
side pods. Proceed.
Okay, side pods. Ngoja, what classifies as side pods? What?
The Mercedes, if these are side pods, Mercedes yake ilikuwa hivi.
Hebu angalia kamera ukifanya hivi.
Nilipata off guard.
Na uongeze volume.
Okay.
That was zero side pods. But
Adrian Newey
Red Bull
tuliona-
RB20 has side pods.
Adrian Newey tulimuona last year kwa gari ya Mercedes akiangalia, akifikiria thoughts, memes zilitoka out of the blue. I can fix her. You know those guys who get into a relationship with a girl with I can fix her. So Adrian Newey tuliona akisema I can fix her kwa akili yake because alikuwa hapo akiangalia the W. Was it the W13? Now looking at that. And listen, you can't really throw that take out of the window because we know Adrian as an engineer himself, he needs to get inspired regularly. And he's a guy who's, hey, listen, he's at the top of his class in his specific field. Now, I'm sure when he saw something that unconventional introduced on the grid, he had to ask some questions. Now, you can't really throw it past him that he didn't try out some tests and say, hey, this is actually working. And speaking, because I said this before, I remember I said, the first time I saw the zero sidepod concept, I understood it. It made sense to me. But the reason why the results weren't translating to the track was because nilisema kuna a lot of variables zenye zinaweza kuwa in place zenye Mercedes hawaku consider when they were doing tests and doing whatever.
The zero side pod the reason why it didn't work because of the floor.
Like
True.
Yes, we have you on record saying ni juu walitoa side pods.
Yeah, I did say that. No, I did say that. I'm not saying I didn't say that. I did say that. I'm just saying when these guys were coming up with the idea of bringing a car with no side pods, the process of making a car, kuna kuangana a lot of steps before it's actually finished. Yeah, I'm sure these guys wakitoa the first models for testing ama whatever they were trying to do. Na wakipiga hizo stuff kwa their machines and their testers, walikuwa like, oh, this is actually faster. Because remember, they don't remove something unless it adds significant value to them. Na niko sure it's this case yenye testing inafaa kuplug away sahi currently. Ile stuff yenye you have something, you've been working on something, na your machines are showing this thing is working. But mkifika kwa track, things are not translating. That's exactly what happened with the Mercedes thing. Now, by the time they were trying to develop that car and catch up with the rest of the field, gap inaendelea kukua kubwa na wako like, hey, hii kitu ina take a lot of our time na hai work. Let's just do this. Let's come back to the conventional method yenye ina work na tukue na competitive nature. Because the more we fall back, the more harder it will be to come back. Case in point, unaona sasa hiyo shapoteza their lead driver. Because of this back and forth ya kumwambia ngoja, and Hamilton isn't getting any younger. Jamaa ndio 40 inaenda kufika na they are telling him ngoja.
Nigel Mansell won his championship akiwa 39
It doesn't
years.
matter. Unaona Max Verstappen. Unajua unafikiria Hamilton anataka kusikia hiyo story akiona this Max Verstappen.
It's not like Hamilton is getting any slower on track irrespective of age.
Do we know?
Huh?
Do we know?
Nigel Mansell won his championship at 39 years.
Can you confidently say Hamilton isn't getting any slower? Can you confidently say that?
Yeah.
Yes. It does that 39
He
40.
still got it, man.
Look at Alonso.
Hey, he's coming to our team next year. I'm not saying he doesn't get it. I'm just saying there is no proof for me to say, hey, listen.
What do you mean? There's proof.
What?
Look at the amount of effort that Hamilton put in 2022 and 2023. Yes, they had a shitty car, but he drove the hell out of that car. Both cars.
Can I bring in a variable to try and put some context into it? Mm-hmm. You remember when Seb was at Ferrari? Do you think anybody will doubt him and say, hey, Seb isn't doing the best in his car? Do you think anybody could outrightly come out and say the car is the problem?
Personally, I just think Feb. Seb was just tired. He no longer found any joy in the sport. That's
okay.
My personal
Now,
take.
hear me out. When Kimi he was consistently outperforming Kimi in equal machinery. Yeah? And guys are like, hey, maybe Seb is doing the best he can in this car. The car isn't good enough. Nini. The car maybe Ferrari wanatoa. Hadi Ferrari maybe wanajidoubt wenyewe wametengeneza gari si poa. Yeah?
I think they say then Charles came and then he was faster because Seb was older.
I really don't want to use that term. I really want to say, what I'm trying to say is, those 2 years Hamilton was at Mercedes could have impacted his performance. Hey, I'm not doubting his professionalism or his talent or anything. I'm just saying those 2 years he was there trying to build with the team could have chipped away at his sharpness to some degree.
Never underestimate the heart of a champion.
I think even now he's more sharp because he's been racing from the middle. He's used to racing from.
Wacha ninyamaze niseme ni sawa.
But it's as in that this is an objective take.
Yeah.
You know, if you're at the front, I think it's only turn one where you need to worry about the guys behind.
Yeah.
But if you have a car that's constantly putting you in the middle, you have to be sharp. Man.
Where do you think sharpness is more refined? When you're racing at the front or when you're racing at the middle of the pack?
Middle.
Okay. And can you say your racecraft is actually more refined when you're racing from the front? Because you know time unaanza sasa kukram racing lines, you're understanding the defending.
All of them. It's not like the number 20. K-Mag haja cram in racing line. K-Mag anatambua racing.
Okay, so umeleta hii story sasa juu the Formula 1 drivers of course lazima wako wamepitia hiyo route.
They know. You see, the thing is when you qualify or when you start in the middle or even at the back, actually the person at the back, he has nothing much to worry. But the person in the middle,
facts.
You don't know about the person in front, whatever battle watakuwa nayo.
Yeah.
You don't know about the guys huku kando.
I think
you don't know about the guys at the. Remember Suzuka last year?
Can't we classify that as awareness?
And it's part of racecraft.
Yeah, racecraft it's such a broad term. Encapsulates a lot of.
Yes. Yeah. Never even over nafakwa.
But anyway, my point is, my take is, I'm not confident fully with this Hamilton, but just hear me out.
But confident in the Mercedes Hamilton or Hamilton?
Hamilton
in Ferrari.
So when it comes to Ferrari,
I know what dumbing down does to a person.
What do you mean?
In terms of performance, in terms of performance amekuwa tu in a position whereby he's been given a shitbox year after year for 2 years now. Na vitu kaa hizo saa zingine zinakufanya stai kusema
Hamilton his first year he lost the championship with 1 point and he won the following year. If he is that kind of a person, he hange win the the following year.
And that's why I'm not trying to put it like directly like at him trust, but I'm just saying with age and with the 2 shitty years he's had,
bro, he's still good.
Okay,
even after Abu Dhabi 21 he continued racing.
This wasn't my take. Oh, it was my take, but it wasn't like a hammer take at exclamation point ka venye niliwaambia is coming to Ferrari, but it was a take. It's just a take. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just saying the things people don't want to hear.
So when it comes to Ferrari, will Fred make him the number 1, the number 2 driver?
Wewe hii swali unaulizanga sana. Nakwambianga every time. Ferrari hakunanga number 1 driver. Niliwaambia hakunanga number 1 driver.
No, bro. Clearly now there's a number 1 driver.
I'm really waiting.
It's Hamilton. Hajafika yet, but the terms and conditions kwa your contract, bro.
What terms and conditions? Care to
First
elaborate?
of all, the amount of money.
Bro, he is Hamilton. His name is a brand.
That automatically makes him the number 1 driver.
Bro,
Fred doesn't
like
have
that.
Fred doesn't have to say it explicitly. Bro, are you forgetting this contract was negotiated between the president of Ferrari and Hamilton? As in
Fred
na Hamilton wametoka mbali.
Anakuja kwa okay, so contract iko draw. Kwa negotiations, anauliza venye contract inakaa.
Na Fred na Hamilton they started from F3.
ART.
Yeah, they
F2.
F2
and walikuwa walianza F3 but F2 alikuwa ART, that racing team.
Yeah, they have a history. Bro,
they have a working history.
Ferrari don't have to say that Hamilton is an.
Mesema the fact that John Elkan was the one hapo. Board of directors of Ferrari kichwa.
Himself.
Mwenye nakanga pale kwa unaona the long table mwenye nakanga hapo hapa.
Himself. Yeah. And I'm not saying this because Charles now he's like a mediocre or a simply above average driver. Charles is not even arguably he's the fastest driver on a single lap. Inajo umesema mpaka
facts.
Yeah, and he'll benefit more in this situation where he's having Hamilton as a teammate than Carlos at the moment.
Facts.
We all know Charles, and this is something you've said quite as in a couple of times. Yeah. Charles is that driver who can actually rival Max for a championship.
Yeah,
he just needs to have everything aligned.
They don't trust.
Watapose warudi nyuma.
Hawanisikiangi. Na waambianga wasikiangi. Nilisema hivyo siku fulani wakaninyonga.
So hapo number 1, number 2 it's clearly it's Hamilton. But I know Charles will actually gain a lot as a number 2 driver.
Would you have said this? Would you have said the same thing when Charles alikuwa na join Seb akiwa?
Said what?
Ati Charles ndio number 2 driver na Seb ndio number 1 driver.
When Nani Seb was joining?
When Seb was there at Ferrari and Charles was joining.
No, only Seb already alikuwa amepigwa was beaten by Ricardo before he left Red Bull.
You don't get my question. Swali yangu ni sasa hivi mnasema outrightly before hata Hamilton afike. Yeye ndio number 1 driver, si ndio?
And that's what I'm saying. Seb
because
when he was joining
who he is.
When Seb was joining Ferrari, he was already he wasn't really performing well in Red Bull in 2014. So I don't think he had that okay, if you remember it was Ricardo's first year in Red Bull.
Unajua when Leclerc joined Ferrari, Seb alikuwa ametoka kuwa number 2 the previous year.
It's the same. Okay, see, listen, unaona when Seb was in Red Bull 2014, Ricardo came in.
Yeah,
akambit.
I know.
The same way Charles came in and akabit Vettel. Yes. So when Vettel was there with Kimi, of course tulikuwa najua Vettel he'll be the number 1
Swali yangu ni rahisi. Swali yangu ni hiyo season ikienda kuanza, mlikuwa mnasema outrightly Leclerc ndio anaenda kuwa number 1 driver? No,
cause
nobody was saying that because of Seb's reputation.
No, and also because Charles didn't we still as in
alikuwa pole saba. Usiseme Sauber wasn't enough for you to say something about him.
But you see, you can't compare a 4-time world champion and someone who just came in and then useme kusema huyu mwenye amekuja.
So ni trophies za Hamilton si jina yake.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the reason why he has that bargaining power.
I think
He's a 7-time world
to determine the driver number 1 and number 2, which I'm saying hakunanga Ferrari. I'm still sticking to that. Pure recent performances, they need to account for a lot. Yeah. And based on recent performances, I think Charles has been the better driver. And now you can take into account the fact that Hamilton has had a shitbox of a car for the past 2 years,
which is true.
Max hajaendesha W13 ndio tukaconfirm hiyo story.
Acha tuona 2025 Charles atapanguzwa na Hamilton.
Haya, speaking of Ferrari, Ferrari came into the year with a car that has been changed 95% of its components. Project 676, now dubbed the SF24, is a new take on the modern era.
You have to clear your throat each time you say 676.
Yeah, that's a dope name.
So now, what was happening last year is during quali, the Ferrari were fast. Put fuel in it.
So apparently, kuna ka theory.
So we want to see if they put fuel on that car, it will still be fast. Because that's the problem they had last year.
You know why Project C76 sounds cool?
Why?
It sounds like a toy straight from, fresh from Dexter's laboratory. Yeah. Let that marinate in your spirit kidogo.
Kuna cricket hapo.
Really? Really? Okay, ni sawa. Anyway, so this year, just before testing began, kulikuwa na rumors that the car is... Was it 1 No. 8/10. I hope I got that right. 8/10 quicker than last year's car.
Hii rumor ilitoka wapi?
And mimi nilikuwa bubbling.
Why are you comparing with the last? You should compare with this year's cars, other cars. You're not competing with last year's Ferrari.
You know last year's car kwanza ilikuwa na mashida zake, but it was still a fast car.
Msiseme ilitoka fast
car. Nilikuwa pale Gazzetta dello something.
Italian
race pace ama quali?
Faster. Like generally, I don't know. They weren't really specific on that.
This person or this publication, they're comparing last year's lap time around Fiorano, that car private Ferrari.
Oh,
test track.
Ite vizuri bana, pista di Fiorano. It's a flex.
Wait.
Watu wako na their own private test track.
Na unajua iko wapi? Nyuma za ofisi. Si hadi tunaanza kubeba gari na initangwa aje zile stuff za kuinua gari. Hizo cranes ati tunaanza kupeleka sijui Silverstone ati tuko hapa Brack.
So this publication they compared last year's one lap, the best time the SF23 lizunguka one lap and this year's, and apparently this year's car is how many seconds?
8/10. So if my math is okay, hiyo ni close to 1 second. In fact, rounding it off ni 1 second.
Let them put fuel.
Si walieka leo.
Lap 1, lap 2, lap 3.
Let me tell you, walieka leo day 2 of testing. As I'm speaking right now to you, day 2 of testing, ukiangalia time charts, Carlos Sainz did a 129 around Bahrain
with softs that are not even part of the
doesn't
racing.
matter. That's the time we're looking for. 128, 129. We discussed at length with this about lap time. Ni lap time gani nafaa cause worry.
You know those softs, they're not even eligible.
It doesn't matter
for next week's
129, bro. Doesn't matter.
As in, during this testing, the C3, which was the medium or the yellow world tire, that is going to be the softs next weekend. So that was just a glory run from Carlos.
129. So Max ameguza hiyo number leo hii season. Checo ameguza hiyo number leo.
Hapana. Hajaran na sifo.
Wait, they are not trophies, man. They are not.
Hakuna points,
bro. They are not points.
Bro,
trophies.
Listen.
I don't know.
Sikiliza, na usikilize kwa makini. Sikiliza. Wewe si ulisema mnabeba 24 out of 24.
Hey brother, 24 out of 24.
Si wewe you're backing him up. You're backing your brother here.
I'm only worried about Singapore.
Speaking of hii mambo, unajua mimi I'm the only one who has a track record of calling things mapema na zina happen.
What do you mean?
Nianze kutoa resume yangu hapa ya Hamilton na hizo vitu zote.
I usually say that.
Nianze kutoa resume yangu.
Wewe nyamaza, endelea.
Ngoja. Acha tuendelee. Nilisema Daniel Ricciardo pia atarudi na alirudi. Tuendelee.
I'm the one who called it bana. Yeah, Danny Rick.
You call it after I've said it.
Mimi nimekolea Danny Rick nikakolea Hugo Boss.
Hugo Boss ulisema nini kuhusu Hugo Boss?
Silisema Alfa Tauri kuna Caribran.
Okay, sawa, tuende hivyo. Last year nakumbuka nikisema Aston Martin will be competitive.
Walimaliza mwaka wakiwa wapi?
Na walianza mwaka aje?
Who
hiyo una proof lakini tuendelee.
Bra, you guys don't you ampendi kunipea flowers. Wewe ulisema utanyoa nywele uweke kwa gidheri ukule Hamilton akikuja Ferrari.
Leta gidheri.
Yo bado nangoja. Hey guys, I'll make sure he does it.
I'll
make sure he does it.
Bring that gidheri.
But anyway, that aside, I think I really don't want to jump the gun here. But I think Ferrari are in a position to kind of put a foot in the fight with Red Bull. Ni sawa, ni testing, but sijui kama you guys have noticed, as the years have gone by, the gap between the slowest car and the fastest car inaenda ikireduce. Umenotice hiyo kitu? Like apparently 5 years ago, the gap was like 4 seconds. The fastest car and the slowest car, 4 seconds.
What, in testing?
It used to be.
In testing?
In
anywhere. Even just during quali, as in the gap used to be.
Yeah, sai apparently your gap as per last year, looking at the data, the gap is now
after these new regulations.
Yeah, minus 2 seconds. 2 seconds and below.
Yeah, we could find like top 10 within
separate. Na pia last year there were a lot of this race these guys were 8-10 sijui ma 4-10
especially after the new regulation.
Guys, if your numbers game iko low, enda tu rudi tu usome tu fractions tena, because ni decimals hata, because kuna a lot of those words being thrown around. Inabidi, but that just shows you how much the sport has grown as a whole. Pia tulikuwa tunaangalia pit stops, venye pia pit stops zimeenda zikireduce. Apparently huko 2013 pit stops ilikuwa 7 seconds, na that is very fast. Na sahi ni 1.8. Can you imagine? Blink of an eye ishapita. So a lot of things have been going on to that. Na before you close up the pod, kuna 2 talking points zimebaki. The Honda situation at the Zagrand Shangela, the Honda situation. Now, just touching on it briefly, I prompted you guys on it. Na mkasema you don't want to discuss it because it's all rumors at this point.
It's that I don't want to discuss. I don't have anything to say.
So, what do you think about the Honda situation?
I don't know.
So what do you think about the Honda situation? Nataka niwape evidence. What do you think about the Honda situation?
We focus on what happens on the track.
There's nothing that's in the public domain. It's just rumors and
there's like a rumor that is saying that at a leave office 28th February. I don't know. At this stage, it's still a rumor. I personally don't believe it. But for those guys who are not aware of what's happening, Honda is facing some allegations from an ex-Red Bull employee. Yeah.
What did he do?
Wengine wanasema ni nudes alituma. Wengine wanasema ni misconduct at workplace. Maybe it could be racism. We never know. Who knows? But at this stage of the allegation, ni bado ni rumors. Nothing has been confirmed. And Red Bull are taking the proper steps nyuma ya mlango to try and get to the bottom of it. Na watu wanasema ni PA wake. Again, rumors. Wanasema ni PA wake and she was a female. So, who knows? Who knows at this point? I really hope it's not true. I'd love to see Honda remain at the sport. Musini cancel your statement, but because of what he brings into the sport, he's the guy who checked Toto, he's the guy who keeps checking these people when you're not feeling in a certain way, yeah? And I really like him as a personality. Unajua, now they got rid of Gunther. They got rid of Gunther. We don't have somebody with that spark anymore, but we need him. I really hope it's not true. So anyway, away from that, a Mushiri special today. You have anything for us from the WRC world?
Oh, so we just last weekend was the second race in Sweden, snow, and Hyundai have won back to back. Yeah. So the thing that has
proceed.
Now the thing that is bringing controversy is the new point system, which they have come up with. So before, the fastest person, like they cover like 300 kilometers, 350 kilometers over the weekend. And whoever finishes with the least amount of time wins that rally. And he gets the most points. But there's the final stage, which is called the power stage. If you win the power stage, you get 5 points. They usually do that because sometimes the gaps are so big, people are no longer competitive. So you try to make them be competitive on the last stage. Now, they changed the rules of how they award the points. Now, you earn points on Saturday, and there are points you earn on Sunday. Okay. So in the previous race in Sweden, Esa-Pekka Lappi, he got the maximum points on Saturday, and he was leading. Now come Sunday, Evans was able to gain more points than Lappi, but he didn't complete the rally in the shortest time possible. So the winner of the rally didn't bag the most points. That is where the controversy is coming. I don't know if you understand.
It kind of makes sense.
There are points you get on Saturday, and there are points you get on Sunday.
That's a mind bender, man.
Yeah, and the winner of the rally, as I said, is the one who takes the shortest time to complete the rally. Okay, so Lappi bagged full points on Saturday, but come Sunday, Evans switched it on, winning the stages.
Naju points are different.
Winning the stages, and he also won the power stage, the final stage.
Okay.
So, and I think he was second on Saturday. So he was able to gather more points on Sunday than Lappi and overtake him in terms of points. So on the top of the podium, Lappi was there, but he didn't come out of that rally with the maximum points. And it has brought some controversy. But they said if it doesn't work, they'll revert it. But I don't think they can change it in the middle of the season. They'll have to. And the next race is in Kenya, by the way.
That's actually the only thing I know about Formula. I mean, rally. I know the next one is in terms of news, I know the next one is in Kenya.
Yeah, we have to wait, I think, 30 days. But I'll confirm where the stages are because they were to change. So
that's really interesting. So as you guys have heard the Mushiri special, so apparently we'll kind of introduce this thing into the pod as we continue on. We'll talk about other forms of motorsport because the Pitboard, we are trying to get all the sports included. I know we focused on Formula 1 currently, but we're also trying to give some airtime to these other sports because we know you guys are also interested in that. And with the Mushiri special, we also have the ramen special.
Yeah. Oh, MotoGP.
Yeah, you want to talk about MotoGP?
Yeah.
Want to tell the guys what's happening?
Yeah, so MotoGP, they just concluded their second testing at Lusail.
They have two testing?
Yeah. Sepang and Lusail.
What?
Yeah. And also even mid-season, they also have another car testing.
Okay.
Yeah. As in, if you compare MotoGP and the Formula 1, how development happens. Formula 1, they do their mid-season, they do their testing during practice sessions.
Yeah.
Or if I was to ask a question, in terms of development, ni development rate gani ko higher at MotoGP or at Formula 1? The same question goes to you at rally development, because I know these cars are developed over the course of the year. Yeah?
Well, the number of parameters that you can touch, if you compare both sports, I'd say Formula 1. Because Formula 1, you can touch the rear wing, you can touch the front wing, side pods, the floor. Even, hey, by the way, congrats to Williams. Walitoa your dash. Your dash imeacha kukua hapo.
Yeah, it's
hapo mbele hapo. Sasa it's part of the wheel. Yeah. So I'd say Formula 1 has more parameters to
say the money came in.
Hey, ni
pesa. Pesa iliingia.
Wali activate Windows. Wachomwa your dash. Yeah, but yeah, so MotoGP, they just concluded their second testing at Lusail. And just to give a brief, it's kind of the same picture as how the season ended. Ducati on top, and KTM and Aprilia somewhere there in the picture. And then Honda and Yamaha, they're back there languishing. But the really interesting thing is during testing, seven bikes actually broke last year's lap record. During
testing.
Yes. And these 7 bikes.
Goja, lap record ya track ama lap record ya like MotoGP the sport?
Testing.
The track. At Lusail.
Bro, that's huge.
Yes.
That's
like,
huge.
Oh, me, I thought they broke record testing last year.
Lap record.
Yeah, that track.
Niku moto manze.
That's huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
So you'd attribute this to, of course, there are some changes in, like Ducati, they've turned up with some crazy aero. As in now MotoGP, actually, if you compare MotoGP like 5 years ago and right now, MotoGP, it's like now they have badge boards. Uko nyuma.
I've seen even on the handle,
wings,
handle, they
even
are
as in hapo mbele, as in wings. Now there's downforce. MotoGP is just becoming another complex motorsport. Yeah, aerodynamics again will give you that advantage, which it's okay and allowed. But I think FIM, which is like FOM in Formula One, FIM need to, and also FIA, they need to put an end to this or a stop to this. Because
Awananga like a template they have to follow. Like in Formula One, we know there's like a template. Like you remember the
like
Shoka?
the size of the wing.
they don't have.
So uko ni
Bro, there are people who are turning up with spoilers. KTM and I think Red Bull they tested a wing that looks like a spoiler.
So
you know,
one of the thing I understood about that front wing, if I may say so, that is under the handle there, is when you are accelerating.
Yes, you don't wheelie.
Yeah, you don't wheelie.
Yeah. So there is.
Is it the same for the ones at the handlebars? Are they like trying to put it down?
Yes, it's the same thing. It's downforce. Yeah, and it's not just the wings. Also, there is this trick suspension, where if you are launching the car, it can actually lower the bike, so it lowers the COG.
Yeah, okay.
And you don't wheelie, and then you have good traction and whatever. As in, MotoGP has just become this complex.
And the wings at the back is for what? Stability.
When you're cornering and
create a vortex hapo nyuma yenyewe na kuweka hiyo COG.
It's actually downforce to ensure that the rear tire, when you're cornering, because you know you're leaning in, it's to make sure that the rear tire actually has some force that's pushing it to the ground to make the bike as in have good grip and negotiate the corner. As in it's bonkers, and it's not just the rear wing, even the side whatever fairings. Those things, they have a shape where if the bike is leaning, it actually behaves like a Formula One car. Ground effect. I kid you not.
What?
Yes.
Like it is that close to the ground?
Yes. Hey, those guys, bro, they lean 69. I remember like Marquez was leaning like 69 degrees.
But how is Marquez doing?
Ngoja tupeane context ya 69 degrees ni kusema nini?
Okay, so when the bike is upright, it's 90 degrees.
Ndio hii plane. This is
zero. Yes. 90 degrees 90 the bike degrees. Is upright. Yes. 69. Yeah.
That's crazy. So 69 from here to here, ama from here?
69 from, if this is 90,
so 69.
It's 69. If this is 90, 69, they usually count from the, okay. In so MotoGP, if the bike is upright, that's 0.
Yeah.
So yeah, so 69.
Hey, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Oh,
that's
so in a lean with 69
That's basically, this is the flat plane. So kituka 20 something degrees. 31 hapo.
21
hapo.
Yes. It's bonkers as the rate at which
na wewe pale Mudhuru ukikimbizwa na mtu anduthi kidogo hivi unaogopa.
Hawezi fanya hata 15.
Unaogopa. Pale Mudhuru ukikimbia Rajava ukipelekwa hivi kidogo na mtu wako wa bike.
But so the alarming thing is the rate at which these bikes are introducing new aerodynamic elements. And okay, it's interesting because there's no formula like in Formula One. So all these bikes, they look different.
Do you think the authority need to step in and kind of gap wanapeana template ka Formula 1 venye yuko?
It's becoming crazy because these bikes are becoming faster.
Acha zikuwe faster.
And safety? Any safety concern?
Safety, well, if the bikes are fast, of course, that's a risk. Because if you already have guys...
Is there like a risk passing or overtaking and scratching
air or whatever?
No, scratching and poking the other person.
Those risks are there. Because sometimes when people collide, you see like the front wing breaks off or something.
Okay.
Those risks are there. But the rare aerodynamic elements, they're not sticking out.
Yeah, so they are very small. Yeah,
they're very small. But the front elements, they do stick out. So there's a risk. Of course, with the bikes getting faster, now the two racing suits that they have on now, the leathers and the helmets now, for example, like the leathers, they automatically detect when you are not on the bike. Later, when you are going down, they will inflate.
Yeah. I've seen those.
It's been there, I think, for the last 3 years.
I've seen those things. They look hella expensive, though.
Yeah. So then the really interesting bit, you asked about Marc Marquez. Yeah. So Marc Marquez left Honda last year.
Yeah.
Same situation like Hamilton.
Yeah.
Like you've been winning, and then you're like, God damn, these guys are not giving me a winning bike.
Yeah.
I need to start somewhere. Yeah. So
and he went to an Italian team just like Hamilton.
He went to Ducati because everyone wants to ride a Ducati bike. Right? Yeah. So now, the interesting bit is, he went to Ducati and his seat at Honda now has been occupied by a former Ducati rider from Pramac, Johan Zarco. And apparently now Honda, from this testing, Honda have fixed a few things. Their engine is now punchier, and also the aerodynamics is actually good. So Honda look a little bit racy. Of course, they're not at the level of Ducati or Aprilia or KTM, but they have actually taken some strides in the right direction. Yamaha is still languishing there, huko nyuma, which is really sad to see because I've always been a Yamaha.
What? You're a Yamaha fan?
Yeah, I've always been a Yamaha guy.
Tumejua timu yako MotoGP.
So this year, the really interesting thing is if Marc Marquez actually understands the Ducati bike, I think this is going to be a really interesting season.
So you think, and how did he fare during testing?
He was actually among, I think, the top 7. Not when I think he was among the top 7 who broke that car, whatever record.
And compared to his brother, I understand they're in the same team with his brother.
Yeah, with his brother Alex. Yeah, I think he beat his brother also.
Okay.
No, he didn't beat his brother. I don't remember the final tally, but I think there was a time Marc Marquez was actually somewhere up there and Alex was somewhere. The next day also Alex was somewhere up. So yeah, Marc is still learning the bike, but the frightening thing is when he understands and knows how to ride that bike. Are we going to see a champion versus champion battle? Another Max versus Hamilton?
Where
the
Pecco
and versus Marquez. And that is a battle which I'd really love to see.
What about Martin? That Martin guy.
Jorge Martin. Martin, yeah, but not championship material, to be honest. Did
he not lead the championship last year at some point?
But he
maybe for one weekend.
He fumbled.
Oh.
He fumbled. And I don't think Pecco is going to make the same mistake. I think Pecco this year is going to turn up and he's going to demolish the field. And that's why I'm really hoping to see Marc Marquez maybe, I don't know, disturb the status quo.
So, with that said, I'm really counting on you. I'm going to take you to your word to try and keep me an honest man in MotoGP.
Yep.
I'm also trying to get myself into that car sport. It's ni moja tu yenye imekuwa ikikataa kupi.
Ferrari wako najua ni wek. Acha tukupatie wek.
Wek niko but bado wek haijaanza, season ya wek bado haijaanza, but when it begins I'll be here to keep you updated on WEC, World Endurance Championship. And with that, thank you for being with us. Thank you for being part of the show. Catch you again after Bahrain. That's the first race. Apparently Bahrain is also the first race in a while yenye tumeona ime happen Saturday. So Bahrain will happen on a Saturday next week, Saturday ama this week basically. Juu episode inatoka Monday.
Cue the Dutch anthem.
So anyway, with that said, it's been fun me coming here and talking to you guys with my fellow pitboarders. Naweza waita pitboarders. Can we coin that? Can we use it as a term?
No, I don't like it.
What do you like? No, that sounded off. Yeah, tutatafuta kitu ya kutumia hapo. So catch you guys next week. If you haven't joined our group, please try and reach us through our socials na vitu kama hizo. Join our group, participate. Tutajaribu kuput more content out on Insta. Follow us on Insta at the Pitboard. X at the Pitboard. YouTube, go subscribe to our channel at the Pitboard. Leave a like, please. It means a lot to us, but mostly subscribe. With that, episode 24 plus 24 has come to its conclusion. And see you guys next week, yeah?
Adios.
Cheers, muchachos.